So it's Friday. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these due to illness and some holiday, but we're back. And today I'm joined by my good friend Lee Messenger. How you doing, Lee?
I'm right, buddy. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. So as always, as we try and kind of intro, it's always kind of good to kind of get a bit of a background from yourself. So let's start with the usual kind of, how did you get involved with Umbraco?
Well, I got involved with Umbraco quite a number of years ago now. I was looking for a content management system like everybody else in that time, trying to find something that was good, that could use. Then I found this guy called Warren Buckley, a creative web specialist.
Back in the day.
I remember emailing him. I remember emailing him, asking him, "Can you teach me?" And the answer was no.
Was it?
I was like, oh, okay.
I'll tell you.
No, I emailed you, and then you sent me some links. This is back. I think I've even got the email actually backed up. I'll have to send it to you. Many. And you sent me some links, and I kind of started to get into it from there.
This was around when the old forum was around. Yeah, this kind of era, version 3-ish.
Yeah, actually, I joined just as it was turning from version 3 to version 4.
Okay.
I think that was when I kind of missed it. You know, I missed the old kind of UI. I got this new fancy UI, and now we've got an even fancier UI.
Exactly, yeah. So, okay, so obviously you've been around a while. I actually totally forgot that you sent me that email.
Thanks,
yeah, thanks. So some people will know you for some of your contributions back to the community. You've done various different packages, but I suppose the ones that you're probably more recognised for is I always get the names wrong. So it's N Forum, isn't it? Is the previous incarnation? Was that the very first one?
That was the first one. I just thought it was missing a forum package, so I thought it'd be worth having a crack, and also I could kind of figure out how to make a more advanced package and all the problems that come with it. I wanted to call it uForum.
That was a couple of years ago, yeah, surely?
Yeah, it was a while ago actually. It was because it was all before the MVC stuff came in, so it was all using using like a user controls to render everything, and it was using the postback stuff. It's just it was
that's what we loved and knew at the time before MVC days.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was. It did a job at the time. It needed some polishing, but to be honest, as with everything, you kind of get a bit caught up with real world stuff.
Yep.
And do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course. So obviously, over time, it's evolved. Then the next incarnation of the forum, MVC forum. Yes.
Yes. We kind of thought because MVC was kind of getting more popularity at that point, and we wanted to learn a bit about it. We thought, what better way than to actually make a kind of, I say, enterprise level application.
Yep.
Something that was quite heavy, that had a lot of things that we'd need to know, things like event systems, permissions. We had to build from the ground up really in MVC.
And this was totally separate from Umbraco, wasn't it? It was just a pure vanilla MVC. If I'm running MVC.net, this was something I could install and just run, either alongside Umbraco or whatever.
It runs in that's a slight issue.
All right.
It runs on .NET MVC, and you can do it. We've got it in the web platform installer. We a couple of people on the forum, on the MVC forum, that actually got it running with Umbraco. It was mainly sort of in a folder in IIS, so it wasn't like integrated into Umbraco.
Okay.
Which is probably
side by side ish.
Yeah, it kind of does. It takes a lot of fiddling because we just built it to be an MVC app. We didn't really think much else about it at the time. It was just we wanted to kind of get ourselves up to speed at quite an advanced level, as well as Entity Framework and everything else that's in it, and then just worry about the rest of it afterwards. It kind of just got we realised there wasn't a forum like that for MVC. You know, there's PHP, BB, and all those kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
So we thought we might as well have a go. But then it was the questions on there. People saying integrate it with like, you know, all their content management systems. It made us think, well, or made me think that I just think no, this needs to be done as an Umbraco package. Alongside.
That was the kind of the iteration again, which we're coming around to now today. So that was the decision. There was kind of a lot of requests that I want it to work with X, Y, Z CMS, and you just thought we use Umbraco all the time. It makes sense to the stuff I suppose you've learnt along from the previous two kind of incarnations. Apply knowledge to this kind of third iteration.
Yeah, absolutely. It was actually what it came to as well. It felt the right time because there's a lovely young Australian man that I like called Shannon, and he built this blog package called Articulate.
Yep.
And obviously he's got this concept of virtual nodes where obviously we can create nodes which aren't actually in Umbraco, but they act like they are in Umbraco. So they have like, you can query it like current page and everything else.
Okay.
But they're not actually documents. It's really handy.
Yep.
Which is what we've used in documents, because obviously the problem being I didn't attach it to begin with is because the amount of doc types and everything else that went with it.
Yeah, I can imagine like from the original days of NForum, did it heavily use the content tree and things like that? Does it become like quite cluttered and then?
Yes.
So
yeah, the other one was obviously we cheated with the other one, saying that it would use the actual Umbraco cache, so it was quick until it got to a point where you had a lot of data. But the issue is obviously the members, dealing with members as well was pretty bad previously. And again, when this all came about to me in a kind of a roundabout way, Articulate came out. I realised we could do it for Umbraco, and they bought, and then the
membership.
They bought out the new membership. Yeah. So it's all done on the cache. So it made sense that actually we could do this now, because before we were cheating in NForum. We were actually using, I was having to write like ridiculous SQL to kind of get all the member properties out.
Right.
So it was
a bit more of a, not a bodge, but it was a bit more kind of wedged in as opposed to using the APIs that are kind of
bodge.
Sorry, I'll take that back. Bodge.
Yes, that's right. Actually, you're bang on right, mate. It was a complete bodge.
But yeah, like you say, obviously now we've got kind of more polished APIs from the core team and things like that. So yeah, obviously it makes perfect sense to come back round and reassess it and rebuild it. So,
yes,
so shall we take a look at it even? Because and see what all the fuss is about.
Well, let's see if it breaks.
No.
Okay, so what I'll do is I think probably I'll just run over the front end. And
yeah,
then,
that's probably
the back.
best.
Okay, so bear with me. Tell me if you can see these screens.
Excuse me. I can see your Visual Studio.
Is it caught up now?
No. Are you just sharing your Visual Studio application as opposed to the entire desktop? Looks like it.
Oh, you are clever. Hello. Back again.
Hello. Let's try again.
Try again. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can try and get it going. Let me see if I can get it in a new tab. Just bear with me a sec.
Yep, no worries.
I'm just going to...
The wonders of IT people and the internet.
Yes. Yeah, I've been doing this a while. Well, this is I think, for example, what I've got to do is fire it up again. Just bear with me.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
Yes, this was pre-planned.
Of course, it's all scripted.
Yeah, honestly, I pre-planned this and everything.
Don't worry.
I'm going to share the entire screen in a second, I think.
I think that's easier.
Yes, I think it would be easier. So here we go. Let's just grab that out. Can you see anything?
It is coming. I can see myself in the background at the minute, but it's still rendering.
I'm going to give up and do the whole...
We can do it via interpretive dance, if not. hopefully we won't get that way. I've just got a black screen.
Thing, mate. Hello.
Hurrah! There we go. I can see something. There we go.
Hey. There you go, mate. Look at that.
Fantastic.
So is that all working now? Can you see it?
All working. So I'll hand it over to you to run us through it.
Okay. If I disappear or it breaks up, just shout. Can't hear you or anything. All right.
Of course.
Okay. So this is this here we're running as dialogue. The idea is I've ported MVC Forum as much as possible over while trying to add some new features and specific Umbraco features to it. It's quite simple on the front end. It's just a normal forum. I mean, MVC Forum really started as a rip-off of Stack Overflow, shall we say, because everyone was using it, but we tried to make a forum with Stack Overflow features. So it's gone away from that into more of a forum now, but it still has the same kind of features with the vote up or like, dislike, all that kind of stuff. So if we go into the main forum, this page, we've got breakpoints running. Itself, the actual forum is running in Umbraco. That's a node in Umbraco. Okay. The categories are actually nodes as well. Yeah. What I'll probably do is go into the back end so you can see it. And then the rest of it is done in tables using Entity Framework.
Okay. And this is using this virtual node idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you can see, I don't know, can you see the URL at the top? Can you see all that part of it still?
Yep. Hang on. Yep. So topic/general-overview.
Overview.
Yep.
So basically, the topic is a root. So the best thing to do, I think to everyone, is look at if you look at our Shannon's docs for Articulate.
Yep.
Not that I'm being lazy and not writing our own. To have a look at that, and that explains quite a lot of how it works. But in a very quick overview, what it does is on app startup, it actually kind of polls the whole cache and looks for specific forum routes.
Yep.
And it adds them custom routes onto them. So it would make more sense if I was to log into the back end.
Yeah, let's take a look.
But the idea of this is to keep it as clean as possible in the back end for us, so you don't end up with 1,000,001 nodes really, but you can still manage a forum. Okay, so if I open up the forum, you can see that's it. That's all it runs on. So you've got the forum routes, then you've got these categories.
Really so just the two categories, a login page and a register page.
Yeah, and the login and register pages are actually only there to help when the package installs, because obviously you don't really need them. You could put these they're actually just partial actions, or they're just partials you just put on your page anywhere. So you've got a login. The idea is I'll run through some helpers in a moment, just to say kind of example. So the really is it should be able to log in from anywhere. So you could put a login on your home page of a custom, as long as it's somewhere in the root, and it will go and find a forum and log you into it.
Oh, sweet.
So I've tried to build this as best as I can to make sure that it's not like Nform. It's very, you can put it anywhere. The idea is I'm conscious of people wanting to nest forums in a deep site somewhere and have a login page on their home page, pull through latest topics, show the members somewhere else and everything else. So I've created this kind of thing called a service factory, which I'll show some examples of that in a second. But the idea is if I click on the forum route here, just sort of run over this, you see down here we've got these, I don't know if can you see this, or shall I zoom in?
No, I can see it.
Okay. So we've got this topic URL name, member URL name, and dialogue URL name. Now these are very similar to Articulate. The idea is this is that topic you saw in the URL a second ago, and then the member, this is the custom URLs. And what it does is it loops through app startup, finds all of the forum root nodes based on the doc type alias, and then it goes and grabs the URL names that I have here, and it creates custom routes for them. So basically, I could have /topic, / anything, like a slug.
Okay. Yep.
And then I can look that up, just like in a controller. It fires into my topic controller, And then what it does is I can look up that slug, so I can either use it as a member's name, or I've cheated a bit for the dialogue page. That kind of manages everything. It's kind of an all fits one controller that just kind of passes off the slug to different action results based on the page, just to save me having a ton of different routes, a ton of different action controllers. So. Do you want me to run you through?
So yeah, quickly just skim through maybe the tabs and kind of some of the settings that we can kind of fiddle around with.
Okay, so you've got the standard forum name and the description that you can do.
Yep.
Change the URLs if you want to here. The only issue with the URLs, I'll quickly say, is as you've got with that Articulate, because it doesn't app start up, if you change these or you move the forum route, you have to restart the app pool. Otherwise, because obviously we need to kick that in so that it registers the routes.
Yep.
I haven't figured out how to do that on app start yet, on install yet. Right, general. These are just standard settings that are pulled from MVC forum, and I've got other stuff. So you can upload files and attach them to posts. So it has a maximum file size. We've got allowed extensions as well.
So is this working into the media section or media library, or is this totally separate, just a separate folder somewhere on disk?
Yeah, these are separate on the posts. I've kept them separate just because they're on the post. But actually, when you do member profile images, that uploads to the media section.
Right.
For the moment.
Cool.
I may move that. I don't know yet. It depends what people want, really.
Yeah. No. Fair enough.
Okay. Then some of the settings are, we've got obviously RSS feeds for the topics, categories, so you could obviously pull the data in somewhere else.
Yep.
Suspend registration, so you can just suspend the entire registration of the site. No one can, log in. I've tried to put descriptions next to them, so if you want to do it yourself, have a quick look. But some of these are pretty self-explanatory. I'll just spin down them very quickly. You can authorize new members manually. You can email the admin on sign up. You can make sure members have to confirm their accounts with a link with an email.
Some nice kind of configurations, some settings to kind of control this quite how you want it nicely.
Yeah, I've tried to do it as best as I can to think of all scenarios, because obviously you could make it a private forum. People can't see it. Everything else. I've got the old school member signatures, whether you want to do that or not. You can you can turn off whether you want posts to be marked as solution, and then you've got the usual paging, and we've also got private messaging in there. It's whether you want private messages and size, and also I've thought very heavily, because I've used MVC forum a lot with spammers. I've got quite good spam filtering and controls now that we've kind of worked over the last few months to figure out.
So in terms of spam, are you just using like some kind of whitelist, or not whitelist, probably the other way around, blacklist of kind of words or phrases, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Bang on.
Fantastic.
One thing we've got kind of in the points section. So we've got points here. This is just like Karma on Umbraco.
Yep.
You can just you can enable it or disable it, and then you can choose what you want to give the users, per vote, per post, what you deduct for a negative vote, etc., etc. Emails, you can have the main admin email address and also the notification reply, because obviously you don't want, when they send out emails, you don't want that to come. They want to see your email address maybe.
Yep.
Now this is one of the spam things. You can obviously do banned emails, so people can't register with a certain email.
Cool.
It's got a theme engine. Again, it's borrowed from a
borrowed is probably
Shannon's. This is from Shannon's Articulate. It's the theme engine, so you can it's just a folder in the app plugins that you can just override, and you can have your own theme, and it just lists them in there.
Okay, cool.
And then you've got it actually uses the actual member groups. So it does here. It actually uses the built-in Umbraco member groups.
Okay.
And so it has a specific member type.
So we have admin, guest, and standard. Yep.
They're the three that come with it. Obviously, the admin is just he can do everything.
Yep.
We have to create a role for a guest because it's permission based. Obviously, anyone that's non-registered is a guest, and then you've just got the normal person. We've kind of set one from the start to help, and that is what you've just seen there on the forum route itself. That's what it starts with. It starts with the standard. The spam filter we've got the Kismet spam control in there as well.
Okay. Yep.
Obviously, you can put a key in there, and it does it on the posts. So it obviously does a check, but it's not brilliant, as we all know.
Oh yeah.
We've got spam prevention questions on sign up. It's just you can keep changing those. And we've also got banned words and banned links. So banned words is just the swear words and it just hashes them out.
Okay.
You know, if you want to go there. But we've also got banned links. It's going to be used for banned words as well. So, for example, our lovely Manchester Kitchens people on our.umbraco.
Yes.
We could, you could obviously put the URL in there, and then anytime they try and edit a profile or they try and create a post or a topic, it will see that and just discard it and just tell them you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's got this social stuff as well. It's got Facebook and Google. Obviously, nice private keys there. I'm showing everyone.
Yeah. So I presume that's for registration, kind of doing kind of social login accounts. I think I may do a live demo of logging in on Facebook if it works, because I've actually been working on that today. So you've got Facebook and Google at the minute, and that actually uses in the background. I've got to say, it uses the Skybud Social. I don't know if you've seen that. Yes. Yep.
He's got an Umbraco package, but actually the main core of it is on GitHub, and it's actually brilliant. It's really good. It simplifies dealing with Facebook. I think it's maybe even, I don't know if it does Instagram as well now.
Okay.
Google, really, it does OAuth brilliantly. It makes it so simple to do. And then you've just got the standard meta properties and everything. On categories, you can create categories and nest categories. So it's just Umbraco nodes. You can just create on here and then create a dialogue category. And you can create another one underneath. You know, you can nest them as well underneath each other as deep as you want. So you can have subcategories. And on a category, you can have an image for a category if you want a description. And we also have permissions now. This is getting to the permission level now. So permissions are on a category level at this point. We've got these kind of permissions here: attach files, create polls, create topics. I hope you can see all that.
Yep, I can. Yep.
So you can just, and whichever one you want them to do, you just tick it, and that's it. It actually does. It goes off and does it in the background, and it gives them their permission straight away. I've got documentation that you can actually add new permissions really easily, so you can create your own ones. I think on GitHub, I've got an example of.
What would be an example of a custom permission I would want to add?
We're doing deny access create polls. There may be some feature that you put in there that you may only give permission to certain people. So, for example, I've got attach files here. You could put a permission for like view files. So actually, you know, you're only going to allow certain people to view other people's files that they've uploaded. You may not want them to. I don't know. It's very hard to come up with kind of permissions based. I've just done the standard kind of things that you would want normally. And so you can obviously deny access as well. That's the other thing. You could deny access to certain groups, to certain categories. So you can hide them. And once it's denied, once you actually deny them access, it will literally disappear, so they don't know it exists. Not that it just denies the access. So you can have like private categories within a forum.
Cool.
And then on a category level, we do have some other settings as well. So you could lock a category, which means nothing else can be put in that category. If you're doing some maintenance, and then you've got these moderate as well, all topics and all posts. So that means that if you tick these two here and someone creates a post or a topic, it will go in a moderated state, so it won't show on the site until you've moderated it.
Okay. And how would I maintain that? Is there a dashboard that you've got to kind of?
Absolutely. So admins, when I say the roles you put people in. In here, testing. Where is it? I go to testing one here. So they've got on here. They've got settings and everything. And also you've got member settings as well. Override them, so you can actually disable the person's email. Just don't let them post. Disable their private messages. Don't let them upload files and things like that. And also, but on the membership here. So this is you've just got to make sure they're in there for being an admin. So obviously I just swap this guy over here and put an admin in there, but I've already got an admin on this side, so I could log in as an admin here.
Okay,
so you can see here your dashboard.
Okay, yeah.
Go on.
So you're maintaining or approving those posts kind of via the front end of the site or the forum.
Yeah, I've tried to keep, because you're going to have a number of people and having, who are going to be maintaining the forum. You don't want them all logging into Umbraco doing, in and out of Umbraco.
No, makes perfect sense.
It's just they can see new. Yeah, it's totally separate. So I don't know if you can see the dashboard I've opened there on my side because I'm an admin.
Yep.
Yeah. So the idea is because I'm an admin, I've got this approve here. So obviously I've got a spam overview as well, so I can see it kind of just flags up posts that have got negative points. So if communities can flag them up, I can go to it and actually see. There you go. Dodgy posts and dodgy members. So apart from that, I've got an approve tab here, and this is where I'll approve. So I can approve members, topics, and posts from this page in one go. So it just lists them out, so you can have a quick look at them and approve them. Going back again, so yeah, just going back, the members obviously have all those settings as well. Just going through, so we have categories, which everything holds, topics, and then obviously members. It's got the currently online stuff as well and all points. We have the idea of leaderboards as well, so you can work out who's doing what each day. Got an activity section as well, so you can just kind of see it just fires a little entry when things happen on the site, so you can see when people have registered, people get new badges. This is been testing and everything else like that.
No, that's cool. So is that Signaler-ish based in terms of if I was to kind of sit on that page, the activity page or feed page, would that just kind of update in the background as stuff goes on, or?
No, it isn't, I'm honest, but that's a great idea, Warren, and that is being nicked.
There you go. Fantastic. There's my
That's a good idea.
So how I like these badge ideas as well. So looking at some of them, if you mention the word Umbraco, you obviously get assigned a badge or something. So how do we kind of add these or maintain these or add some custom rule to say this is what I want it to do?
Okay, so badges were taken directly from MVC Forum. We had the idea of, we were trying to figure out a way that developers could easily use them and then actually share them as well. That was the key thing. You could just drop them in your folder and it just automatically picks it up, and then it starts using. So we use this kind of, there's docs on this on the page. Are you able to see Visual Studio now if I switch to it, or is that not?
No, I can see it.
Okay, so up in the solution I have badges. They go to the mention. It's just a single class that has some attributes on it. So hopefully that's big enough for you to see.
Yeah, no, that's readable.
So all it is, it's based on a rule. So what happens is you just need to make sure if the rule is true, then it's as simple as that. But the rule can be anything you want it to be, because obviously the idea of this is we give it a unique ID, you give it a name, and then you give it a display name, description, an image, and then you say how many points you want it to award, if any, for this badge. Each one
only takes in the context of the user or the member, but doesn't take in the context of what they've posted at the time. So is that what you're doing here? Is you're trying to figure out what the latest post was?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is we go off. We got just the, because what we're doing, each rule just takes in the user. So we can do anything we want there. We just know this person's done something, so we just say what is it based on the actual badge itself. So we can then we go and get them using this cell that we can use actually, which I'll try and show you in a second about using it in a nested site. You can use it anywhere, but we use it internally as well for everything. So yeah, I just literally go and go and get the member by. I don't know why we go and do that actually, because it's already there. But we go and get the members' posts by member. Then what we do is we get the last post created, and then we check to see if they've actually written Umbraco in it. And if they have, we just return true.
Cool.
If they haven't, return false. And that's it. And all of the badges are based on the same kind of logic.
Yeah, very nice.
That's just another one. This is the first vote up received. So you just make sure you know, as the thing's happening. So I mean, we're looking, or I'm looking. It's always done in classes, obviously. So you can compile this and give someone else your DLL and drop it into your bin folder, and then when the app pull but I was thinking it would be better if it was sort of configurable classes that you could just make. I just and them as little XML. Are you there?
I am here, but I think you keep cutting out.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh dear.
Hello, Lee.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, it just keeps cutting out every now and then.
Okay, mate. Sorry about that. I think our internet's pretty dreadful.
Yeah, I think I got the crux of that was that you're intending to try and move this out of class files and out into a DLL into some kind of configurable option.
Yes, I think it would be easier if we had some sort of way of holding it in a database table, and then maybe we can still share it by exporting XML files or something, like you export doc types.
Yeah. Obviously, class files are still fine probably because it doesn't always necessarily need to be compiled. It could be shoved in an app code folder potentially.
Yeah.
If
it should work exactly the same. It just uses reflection on app stuff.
Okay, cool.
And run the app, use whatever's there, and go and find everything based on the interfaces.
Fantastic. So do you want to run us through this? Obviously, you've got this kind of service factory that obviously is doing a lot of kind of
yes,
a lot of the legwork, shall we say?
Yeah. So the idea, obviously, what I tried to do with this is to make sure that it was usable within people's sites. So everyone who has a site tends to want to put a forum in it. But the idea of having a theme with
You gone again? I think I might have lost you, Lee.
Are you there again?
I am there again, yes.
Can you see that?
We're still currently looking at... Oh, no. There we go. We're playing catch up now. So you're in a home view, yep, and you've got a service factory in your view. Topic service, get recent topics with some parameters on the method, and get all main categories, and get latest users. Sweet.
So this is using the service factory as an example. So service factory contains everything.
Yep.
Topics, categories, members, permissions, everything in it. So this is just an example. So a way of you can do this, obviously, any page on the site, really. So you're seeing here that all we're doing is going off and getting the recent topics, looping through, getting the categories, and getting recent members. So what I was going to do is show you. I've got. I'll go to the back end here. Can you see? Tell me when you've caught up, and I'll show you. I've got the home node here.
Yep. No, it seems to be quite nippy now.
Typical. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just move the forum node. I'm going to put it underneath the home node. So how you would have it in a normal site. So you probably have the forum. So there we go. That's underneath there. The only thing I'm going to do now, because I haven't figured out the events on this yet, is I just need to rebuild. I'm just going to do a quick rebuild on it. Because what I'm going to do is just want to kick the app starting again, so that when I go to the home page.
Is this because of the slug stuff?
Yeah, because I removed the forum now. Obviously, those aren't going to be there because the actual URL for the forum root isn't a slash being the home. It's actually now /forum. It's an Umbraco node. So obviously, everything's. You'll see in a second how the URL's changed. Because obviously now the URL for a topic should be forum /topic / the name instead of just topic / the name. So if I come in and go to the home page now, it should just be a blank home page. It's going to blow up. Because I've just literally added a view. There you go. So all I've done is I've just added a home page, but it's still pulling through everything underneath it, or anywhere really it can do that. But if I click on one of these,
how is the service trying to figure out the forum context? So say if I had multiple forum nodes underneath that home node, and on that home page, how does the service know which one I want it to use?
If you're using multiple forums, and that's something that it should be able to do, so you have multiple forum routes in essence, it's been fairly tested. What you'd have to do is pass in the ID of the forum you want, because it's just no way of it knowing, or it'll, because it doesn't know which one you want to go for. What it does in the background, when you just use it like this, it will go off and find the first one it can find. It goes down
that document type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes down the tree first. If it can't find anything, it goes up.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Sweet.
So that's just where for you would know which one for it to use. But if it obviously goes back, it uses the theme. But if you look at the URL when it actually kicks to life, it's now obviously because the forum is underneath the home. Obviously, it's taken the Umbraco URL and appending it to it. So obviously, you can use it in in a virtual directory scenario.
Nice.
Everything should be able to work. So, and like I said, we have sort of messed around with it with multiple forum nodes. It should work, but you're going to have to.
The only reason I ask is that here we do kind of quite a lot of multilingual sites, and the way that multilingual sites are done here for this particular client is that there is duplicate kind of content trees. So there would be, I don't know, English, I don't know, German or whatever. So I was thinking, could there be multiple of these forum nodes? That was all.
Okay. Yeah. If you do it that way, yes. I mean, theory is yes, it should work like that. As long as, but if you're pulling things through on the home, obviously, if you're pulling things through on a page that has multiple multilingual nodes underneath it, then you're gonna have to obviously tell it which forum to go for. But yeah, it should work in that scenario. But I've also everything is actually it should be multilingual in a basic way from the start.
Dictionary items.
Yes, we have everything, or I've put everything in. I don't know if you can see that.
It's still, there we go. Yeah, wow, yeah, loads. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and all these have got quite a lot of stuff. Well, that hasn't. Some of them have got quite a lot in.
Yeah, no. There's obviously you've put a ton of effort into this and a ton of work. That it makes sense that I suppose near enough every string that could be translated is been put into a dictionary item.
Say that again, could what, sorry?
I presume that every string that could be translated has been put into a dictionary item.
Absolutely, mate. Every single thing you can think of is already in a dictionary item.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it should, and it does change. I've messed around with it. We've got a slight issue with virtual nodes at the moment and multiple languages, but that's going to be resolved in Umbraco 7.2. Spoke to Shannon about that, and he's already fixed it, I believe.
Okay, sweet.
So that's all done. But yeah, I can't. It is what it is, really. It runs. It tried to integrate it as best as I can.
No, it's really, really good, and it shows that you've put a lot of time and effort into it and thought about making it as generic or making it work as many scenarios as possible. So yeah, no, it really shows off in terms of kind of what you've learned previously as well, and it looks like a very nice, well polished package.
Well polished. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it looks good enough to me, mate. And did you get much feedback from the kind of semi-public beta tests, alpha tests that you've done and kind of posted online and things like that?
Yeah, I had some good stuff on the initial forum, but I would like to say Jonas Eriksson's been great, absolutely brilliant, doing testing the Facebook stuff, and I think he's using it for something at the minute, so that's been really helpful.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so thanks to him.
Cool. So is this I presume open source?
Absolutely, yeah. It's on. If you go to GitHub,
let's plug the link. So GitHub, Lee N3O, and then /dialog. Sweet.
So everything's there with
documentation as well.
Yeah, I'll just go down. I've tried to. It's all on one page, unfortunately, but I have tried to say everything I can in regarding to using the service factory, using the permissions. It has a unit of work as well, but it explains it more there.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Like I said, you've really put in a lot of effort into this, and yeah, and it shows. So yeah. You should. Oh, hang on. We have a question just come in as I'm talking about this.
Okay,
yeah. So,
go on.
Dan Lister asks, "Hi Lee, dialogue looks great. Sorry I missed the start of it, of the uHangout, but can dialogue be set up to work with existing members and member types?" So I presume, yeah, Dan might have, yeah, existing member groups or member types and members, I suppose. Does dialogue, I suppose, need to use the kind of the member groups and types that you set up, or is there things that we can kind of make it work with the existing types we have?
No, I think at the moment it needs to use the types that I give it. It's the dialog member type because it has all the properties. But you could change that because it is just a constant.
Okay.
Where it actually queries and makes things, it's a constant, which is just a string for the member type. But obviously, you'd need to make sure you have the same properties that it's expecting. You know, because it's trying to map the Umbraco node into a model, and if it hasn't got those properties, it's likely to blow up.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but the theory is you should be able to, and yes, and obviously you can create roles and everything else yourself. The member groups or the roles are just Umbraco roles, so if you've got existing roles, it will just use them.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you want to kind of cover or kind of demo or show off?
No, I mean
anything like you're like, wow, this is. I think. Is there something you can show about those virtual nodes, maybe just from a curiosity kind of perspective?
Sure. I mean, so if we go into here, what we have, I come into the thing. Everything is in. We have a dialog.logic project. In here is the roots in here, and if I go to dialog root, here you go. So this is what happens when it fires up. I don't know if you can see here.
Yep. So your map roots.
Okay. So as you can see, I still haven't taken the articulate bits out. It's been lifted.
Yeah.
Thing. So the idea is, as you can see, it goes and gets all of the document, the forum roots.
Mm-hmm.
It goes through each one.
Yep.
And it's got this. Shannon's just changed this for like multi-tenancy. Here we go. It says right here. So the idea is it creates a root for each individual node in here. So I have to say here. So I've got, for example, let's take the topic. Make more sense. So I look through here, the groups here are forums, and I go into the topic root. I go into the topic root here. All it does is it just literally adds a custom root into the root collection. So it goes through all of the nodes, and it looks for that, you know, the property I said with the topic name.
Yep.
Where I had topic page, and there you go. So it goes and finds it and groups them by that. And as you can see here, it creates a normal root with, you know, saying this is the controller and this is the action. So yep. And it's just the controller again. So if I go to
I suppose the last bit of is the magic, I suppose. So obviously that's just like a normal MVC route that you're kind of mapping or adding to the collection. But how does that MVC route get the kind of Umbraco context? So how can you ensure that when on that virtual node URL or route that you get at current page or at model.content. whatever? Have I lost you, Lee?
Sorry, mate. Internet's dreadful. Sorry.
Did you catch any of that? What I just said?
Are you talking about this here, the dialog topic root handler?
Dialog topic root handler. I was trying to ask. Yes, it might be that.
Okay.
Basically,
So
how do I get the Umbraco context? Because obviously you just add in this normal MVC routes. How does this route know about the Umbraco context?
Okay, so basically what it does is it uses this virtual node by ID route handler, and you'll have to actually ask Shannon what the hell that does, because I have, but it works, right? But the main thing you have to think is what we do use. Uses, here we go. It uses this dialect. I don't know if it's something you've seen before.
No, I can't say I have.
Okay, well, what it does, if you inherit from this published content wrapped, you basically, it's like a you kind of make a fake page, and you've got everything from like the URL, parent, ID, name, document type, alias, document type. You have to set these, but the reason why it's at the beginning, how I understand it, and again, I think Shannon should come and say how this exactly works.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty useless at explaining it. I kind of got it to work, but I'm pretty certain he's much better at talking about it than I am. What it does at the beginning, it's when you do a current page on any of these nodes, what it's doing is actually setting the root forum. So that's why it goes through and finds all the root forums.
Yep.
And it uses that root forum as the current page.
Ah, fantastic. Okay.
So basically,
yeah, no, I was just curious.
You can have any of these.
You would get properties and things back out from Umbraco, and yeah, no, that's an interesting approach.
Yeah, no, this is the reason we did it. It's really handy because you can create all these fake pages and fake topics and everything, but they're still in essence. Well, they're not actually in essence, are they? They're kind of fake pages, so you can still say current page, then you can still do Umbraco queries from those pages, so you could go and get Umbraco content from one of these fake pages somewhere else in your site.
Yeah, that's really, really nice.
Yeah, we thought it was just much easier than having to put a ton of doc types and everything else in there.
Yeah,
but again, we've got. Again, I think you definitely get Shannon on and talk about this because maybe I can understand it.
Yeah, I need to try and sync up on time zones and get him on.
Yeah, but it's very handy. I reckon I'd tell everyone to have a quick look. This is what I did say about Articulate. Although Articulate
it was kind of the source code that you was kind of looking for ideas and kind of studying.
Yeah, basically. I think because Articulate's a very simple blogging platform on the face of it.
Yep.
I think it's discarded by a lot of people, but I don't think they realise what's actually under the hood. It's got some really amazing stuff in it.
Sweet. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth checking out at some point then. Okay, should we maybe we can, unless there's anything else you want to specifically show, but I think we've got a couple of questions we can take.
Yeah, go for it, buddy. Yeah, not anything else.
Yeah. So we've got a question from Martin Griffiths. He asks, "Hi Lee, I like the package. How easy is it to decouple the package from an existing site? Should there be issues with it during an Umbraco upgrade? How will you choose to support it as Umbraco versions increase? Will it be supported always for free?"
Yeah.
I suppose that's quite a few questions. I suppose let's take the part of it. Is it kind of decoupled away from the kind of my existing Umbraco site, and I need to do an Umbraco upgrade, or there's a patch release I need to do? Is it decoupled from the kind of the main Umbraco stuff?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. There should be nothing with it that's actually tied, apart from using Umbraco APIs and then using these helpful things like the published content map. But yeah, if you update Umbraco, it should have no, it's decoupled from that point of view, because the rest of the, all the topics and everything else, apart from you see the category and, or the nodes, the category and the forum are just nodes, and then everything else is just normal Umbraco stuff. It just uses the APIs. So as long as Umbraco doesn't break anything, it will just continue to use the APIs. It's not attached to anything like in that way. I've tried to make it as decoupled as possible, so it's not reliant. But yeah, the idea is it uses the APIs like anything else does. Yeah,
no, of course. No, I think that's a good answer and a good question. Again, we've got Martin Griffiths asks another question. What was the Facebook integration package you mentioned as an Umbraco plugin or GitHub repository that you mentioned earlier?
Right, there's two ones. There's an Umbraco plugin called Skybrud.umbraco, which is SKYBRUD.
Yep.
I can't remember the chap's name. I think it's Anders something or other that made it. Now that's a package where I think you can basically log into the back end of Umbraco and just kind of connect yourself to a social, social account. So like for your analytics thing that you do, I think it was. You just log in and you just register an account, then it gives you your token, and you can go and query against that account. But the underlying code of that is just if you just type Sky.
It's on Nougat, isn't it? Yeah.
All sorts of help methods on there. Oh,
yeah.
Say again.
I was going to say it's on Nougat, yes.
Yeah, it's on Nougat. Yeah, exactly. That's where we pulled down from. And I've got to update this one actually as well because he's made some changes to it. It's very clever.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, well, thanks for taking the time and showing us dialogue. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will be kind of skimming through your source code and kind of understanding, especially maybe this virtual node stuff, either by looking at your code or looking at Shannon's articulate. Is there anything kind of you want from the community? Are you wanting people to test it more? Are you wanting people to contribute in other ways? What's kind of the plan for dialogue?
If people want to, I'm open to anyway. I mean, we'd like people to test it because I've had a handful of people test it and install it, and do sort of like, it's been handy by doing that. And like I say, a couple of people have been a bit more hands-on and actually delving into the code and using it. But I'm open to anything. I'm open to suggestions for improvements. I'm open to suggestions to feature anything really, whatever people think.
Okay.
If you even want to just put a theme on there, it's fine.
Yeah, I suppose that's a nice way to contribute back. Yeah, could be a theme or a variation of the layout and design that could be bundled as part of something you ship out. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, it's obviously built with Bootstrap initially, and it's all quite plain and vanilla on purpose, so it's easier for people.
That makes sense. Okay, cool. I think we'll wrap it up there because I think you're starting to cut in and out again. But thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Okay, buddy.
And I will see you at the UK Festival in around a month's time.
Indeed, bud. Yeah, thanks ever so much.
Excellent. Cheers, Lee. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.